Hello, sir. Sir, without anything, I would first thank you for coming to our office. We got to know that you're contesting for BCD elections. BCD elections have an important role. Why? Because for 5 years, or considering the situation, the elections are never conducted in 5 years. 7, 8 years, we have to choose 25 people, or now 23, who are going to decide the future of the advocates, because they are the one who represent us in DCI or before the government. We got to know that you're contesting elections and you have been fighting for so long, for so many years. I've been into profession. If I start from my law school, 10 years. I know you since my last 10 years. So when I got to know that you're contesting elections, I wanted to have a discussion on why do you want to contest elections and what is your perspective and ideas behind contesting the election.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to your office, and double thank you for raising this very important topic. And this, I think, every youngster and every other lawyer should undertake this practice which you have started, and I really am appreciating this. If you want to vote for an election, you have so many youngsters also in your office. The most important thing which Ambedkar Sahab gave us through the constitution is vote. Through vote, we decide how our lives, how our profession, for that matter, if you vote for BCD in BCD elections, how your profession is going to treat you and how you are going to treat your profession. And the ultimate beneficiary of our profession, that is common masses who want to seek justice from the justice delivery system which Baba Sahib through the constitution has created. So therefore, I want to thank you very much for this. So now BCD elections, and I'm sure you all have read about the Advocates Act, but in nutshell, I would only want to say that every society, every institute, every profession, according to the constitution, has got a right to manage its own affairs independently without any pressure, because we are the experts of this field, and so therefore we should be able to run our affairs. Now, justice delivery system is the bedrock of any democracy. If we do not have a good justice delivery system, then we cannot claim to be a very good democracy. That's the given. And in justice delivery system also, as it's widely said, that bar is the mother of bench. So ultimately, the most important factor in justice delivery system in India is advocates. What you people are going to do, and you rightly pointed out that normally it should be 4.5 years, not 5. When in 5 years, a new body should come in place. But elections should be held immediately after 4.5 years. So therefore, but one never knows. Still, now we have an experience now. After almost 8 years, we are having this election of 2018. So you have a very valid point. So first things first, how much is the importance of lawyer in this entire justice delivery system? That's very important, and that is the front ending of the justice delivery system is being done by
But
lawyers.
when you talk about lawyers, sir, the first problem that comes into picture is that last 5 years or last 3 years when I've been proactively practicing, I've seen that for every problem that a lawyer faces, they have to approach the High Court. With that, is that because of having no effective mechanism in the Bar Council of Delhi, or for everything if we have to go to the court, then why does these bodies exist? So what do you think that is this the right approach? Because if lawyers are not getting their rights, then what do we expect how can we work for the society when our rights personally are curtailed?
See, that's why I'm saying Bar Council is a reflection of how youngsters and how other voters vote.
Yes, sir.
So if you and other members of the bar or other practitioners are facing problems, that partly can be blamed upon the voters also.
Yes, sir.
Because you enjoy what you have chosen. So if there are various aspects which need to be improved upon, this is the time. So now you have an opportunity set. So tomorrow you don't have to go to any other fora like High Court or any other. Bar Council has got a larger responsibility than bar associations. So if you choose wisely, And I hope people will choose wisely. And this is the right approach to choose wisely, that you question your candidates. If you choose wisely, then I think you will not, and nobody should face problems, because I think BCI and BC, the Bar Councils of States are very, very powerful bodies.
Yes, sir.
So therefore, if you face any trouble, blame it partly on yourself. Now, that was on a lighter vein. There should not be, I feel that it's my understanding of our profession and the practicing advocates, if a lawyer fears anything or if he faces any inconvenience, if the Bar Council and our system, our constitutional democracy cannot provide a fearless and conducive environment to lawyers to practice law, then I think there is something seriously wrong with our justice delivery system. So the first thing which has to be ensured, and that's why I was saying we do the front ending of justice delivery system of our country. Judges come next. Other court staff, other agencies come after us. Anybody who's facing a problem will approach a lawyer first. So having said that, and you rightly pointed out, are we getting a fearless environment? Are we getting a level playing field? Are first generation lawyers getting a level playing field? Rather, they should be encouraged. Youngsters need to be encouraged to bring them at a level playing field. First generation lawyers should be encouraged to bring them at a level playing field. If that is happening, well, I will confess it's not so. I also, being a first generation lawyer, have faced various problems, and I'm sure you all are facing that problem. But it is the duty of Bar Council, I'll say, that to ensure that extra hand holding for youngsters and first generation lawyers is a must, which I leave it to your judgment whether it's good or not.
When you talk about insecurity, does it also include the security from the investigating agencies? As we know, the first or the biggest example was you, who faced any investigating agencies, but then it did not stop at you. It went on to a lot of people, including an advocate who was arrested by a special task force for an investigation. So it is not, you were the first one in the list, but after you, the list has been increased. So somehow or the other, the advocates in fear whether if they go forward and give advice, would that advice come against them as by the investigating agencies, and they have to go to jail.
That is part of the fearlessness I was pointing at. That is one part. And I was not the first, but I was an important.
So for me, for when I started the profession, or the first time I heard a raid on a lawyer's office, it was yours office, and then further incidents of notices and arrests being made to lawyers.
Yes, I can say that it was one of the largest and biggest raids, and it was not a raid per se on my personality. I would also like to say that it was only because my role as a lawyer was being questioned. So I resisted to whatever best I could, and I was quite successful also, using all the legal and constitutional means. That's very important for a lawyer, to not under any circumstance break the law. And let us be examples to rest of our society that staying within the four corners of law, we can get all the reliefs. Now, that was one part where investigating agencies, and this is my promise, why I'm contesting. One of the reasons I'm contesting is that my understanding of things, law as it exists today, is that no investigating agency should get to talk for the purposes of any investigation, get to talk to a lawyer without taking the Bar Council into the confidence, the respective state Bar Councils of the state, the state or the High Court. That is my understanding of law, and that is my promise to the lawyer community of Delhi that I will try to ensure. That's one half. But other than that, does a young lawyer face pressure while appearing in a court? That's the other kind of fear which has to be totally obliterated. That would be my endeavor once again. Rather, someone who's young should be encouraged, not just from enforcement agencies, but also from the treatment one gets in the court, in the courtrooms and in the court premises. lawyers who have some standing or who have little experience have good offices. I'm glad you also have a very good office now, but can this be said about a lawyer who's just entered the profession and he's a first generation lawyer? So there lies my second promise. Financial security is also part of that fearlessness, that conducive environment I was talking about. So I propose to give a substantial, and I can spell out the figure also. In my mind, there is a figure of 25,000 per month to every lawyer who joins the profession for 3 years, 0 to 3 years. We would like to give that security, financial security. Plus, there will be now if Bar Council is arranging that kind of money, there will be some responsibilities also placed on the younger lawyers. These people who get stipend, they will, apart from getting the benefit of being placed, and we will ensure that all the senior lawyers and all lawyers who have a practice, they take these youngsters to their offices. They don't have to face this financial burden because Bar Council will be giving 25,000. But they have to teach them, hold their hands, so that they can become independent. I think 3 years is a time when you can fly with your own wings.
So why don't we start it with the college level? Because there's a rule of BCI. Delhi is known for sending precedents. There is a rule of BCI which says that every bar association has to have a list of lawyers who are more than 10 years into practice, where the students can do internships. The first issue starts because I am a first generation lawyer, I also have no one in the field. So when I was searching for internships, I had to do a lot of hard work, and most of us have done that. So the problem is that if there is a set mechanism which has already been set, if that comes into existence, your concept of 25,000 would only be effective if somebody considered it worth paying. But the seniors would also be willing to pay if they think that the person whom they are hiring is worth. So the worth will come only if that person is well trained. So the first request that as a first generation lawyer, or the problem that I face, if you could do something in implementation of that rule which already exists. No new rule needs to be made, no changes have to be done. It is just an implementation of the fact. And if Delhi does something in implementation, that moves forward and is carried on by the other bar councils also. So the training, as a suggestion, if it starts with an internship training, goes forward to the next level, then when the first person would enter the profession, he would be in a position. If somebody would come and join you, sir, then he would at least know the basics to stand before the court at the first stage, because he has done internships, he was provided internships, he had some guidance at least. So would that be...
Thank you very much for the suggestion, but nevertheless, I did not say that I want to change the rules, because the rules are already there, which are sufficient. This is just something which, as a bar council, we need to do. Yes. For that, we'll have to bring certain resolutions in the bar, and also we'll have to talk to Delhi government. I have a plan worked out for that. But yes, this is a very welcome suggestion, and I'm grateful that you gave it to me. I will definitely bring it into my thought process that yes, the youngsters who want to really practice law, they should be given some kind of hand-holding from the times they were students.
Yes.
That's a very good suggestion, I must confess, and that's one of the benefits I get when I come to meet youngsters like you. Thank you very much for that. But however, what my idea was that these lawyers, 10 years and above, they would, as a duty, would be required to take up juniors.
Yes, sir.
We are just removing that financial burden, and nobody is stopping them from picking up people who they really like and then absorbing them in their law firms, but or their offices. But as a matter of principle, they will have to, and we will ask the students how did they find the experience in the senior, whether he was able to teach you something or not. So that appraisal will be taken from the young lawyers, not the other way around. So that is in my thought process, but I'm grateful for that advice.
Because when you see, sir, this 65,000 voters who have enrolled up to 2020, which is technically more than the entire lot of voters which existed in the last election. So the bigger promises or the bigger assurances or the bigger work need to come for these 65,000 people who have came into the profession. And as a matter of fact, since it has become like, there's a trend in India, first engineering, then doctor, then now lawyers. because now lawyer is considered to be a very romantic profession, where you enter the profession and you see that the police speaks to you, or everyone in that reason speaks to you with very huge respect, even if you are the first in first year. You by the first day in the profession, you are called Vakil Sahab. So that Vakil Sahab is being romanticized in the country, and now a lot of people have started. But the problem that they face is that they don't know the basics of the trial. And by them going in the independent practice without knowing the essence of the any small segments, I've seen a lot of technical mistakes that have been done by lawyers, because of which the individual's right is curtailed or he suffers. So some practice, as you said, would be given to them by for 0 to 3 years by making them work with the seniors. What else apart from this? Because seniors should, I was discussing with you other people also, and I've met a lot of seniors. So I've told them that if they could give 1 hour of their time every week, if some people come forward, if for example 100 people come forward every week, 100 hours would be sufficient. So some other topic which if can be taken into consideration every day, for example 7 days, 7 people come forward and teach one topic, will that not help the younger generation?
Yes,
something like this.
Yes,
can
it
be
would, and that was in my mind actually. But again, thank you very much for saying this. But this aspect was in my mind because we will identify lawyers who are experts in their fields to come and give lectures, of course, on a weekly basis, because this profession has given them a lot. Now, it is our responsibility also, whatever little we've earned in the sense of experience and knowledge, we must spread it around. And that was in my mind, but thank you very much for pointing it out. But I would not say that because the numbers are so huge for the youngsters, I would be interested in. Numbers are important, but they are not the be all and end all. Rather the concept, because you are going to take the baton from people like us. So we have a responsibility of handing over the baton at a place where you can really carry it forward, carry the flame. So that's the basic reason why this exercise has to be done in detail. We need good quality lawyer across the country, and Delhi would be setting up an example. I hope you are right. We'll try our best to do that if I am elected. So Delhi would like to set an example to keep this romantic picture of lawyers going. Otherwise, it should not end up in a shattered dream kind of a thing. So we like to keep it that way. Therefore, we will burn midnight's oil to ensure that conducive environment. And for that, I would now come to my next point, that Bar Council of any state and Bar Council of India should work in an absolute transparent manner. Our meetings, that would be my endeavor, and I can promise that, would be in a transparent manner. They will be live streamed. Every meeting of the Bar Council, I think there is nothing to hide from our masters. The voters, as I say, if you have heard me speaking at other places also, I say voters are the masters, and in fact I am applying for a job to serve the lawyer community of Delhi by trying to become a member of Delhi Bar Council. So I have to really remain grounded and understand at every single second in my tenure, if I am elected, that I am a servant of the lawyer community. That partly the lawyers have to help me in that by catching hold of my hand, and if necessary my collar also if I stray. And that's the thing which needs to be done by every member of the community so that we don't get swayed. So transparency would be one of my major promise to the entire bar, that not only we will live stream our meetings, but also I will try to ensure that every month the budget and the incoming and outgoing finances of the Bar Council are displayed on a website for everybody to see that this is, and all our meetings should be not only live stream, but their resolution should be put on website for everybody to see. we would like to hold as many general body meetings as possible to decide and take guidance from the general bodies for major decisions. Like, for example, I've also, in my manifesto, there will be also 30,000 pension for the immediate family members and the lawyers, right, of 30,000 after 65 years of age. If somebody wants to opt for a retirement, then he can be provided with that, and the spouse on his death can be provided with that amount. But there would be certain conditions that he's not taking pension from any other place, or he has undertaken at least 20 years of practice. So these are my points of my manifesto. And yes, we will try to give a level playing field to every lawyer.
Yes.
And for that also, we will develop some kind of mechanism. That's in my, that will be my endeavor, that we kind of develop some kind of the mechanism to ensure that level playing field is there for every lawyer, regardless of his experience. Of course, some kind of respect we always get because of our age. Whether we have some intelligence gathered in our minds or not, that's a separate issue. But that apart, a level playing field should be there for everyone. And we will, I think every lawyer should work to remove the allegations of corruption which are engulfing our judicial system or justice delivery system today. Responsibility once again would be on the shoulders of we, the lawyers community, to ensure, and we will fight tooth and nail any allegation of corruption. But having said that, it is also the responsibility of the bar to ensure that no pressure is ever visited upon the judiciary. That responsibility is also on the lawyer community, that unnecessarily we have to stand as a shield. We should be prepared to give our lives to protect the honor and dignity of the bench also, because as it is figuratively speaking said that bar is the mother of bench. So we have to protect the bench with all the fierceness a mother would to protect one's sons and daughters. So that's a responsibility. But having said that, we'll also have to ensure that there is no iota of a possibility of corruption at any end, either in the bar's end or the bench.
So when you talk about this, one thing that I think as a suggestion, that now a lot of people who have joined this profession, it is not only with regard to litigation, but other aspects also. So first is judiciary. One of the biggest dream of a person who, most of the people who come to this profession are either looking at high earning lawyers, or the second option that they choose is to work for the country by serving as a judicial officer. So when we talk about the judicial officers, the problem that we have seen, and why I interpret this rule of Supreme Court or the judgment of Supreme Court on 3 years, was that a lot of people did not understand the bar side of the practice. The people who were appointed as judicial officers at the young age did not understand the bar, because whatever you read in the books is completely different from whatever you see in practice in the court. So some sort of training, if could be arranged with the judicial officers at high court level and Supreme Court level, there is an arrangement which has already been into picture. But if we somehow make arrangements for the students who are willing to join judiciary as an option, since there is a 3-year period, so can we not introduce a mechanism wherein we send a support system to the judicial officers also? Because if there's a helping hand who is technically wishing to be a judge, like you've seen when the new judicial officer appointed, he works with a senior session judge, or for that reason with
interns,
the chief.
yes.
So they
LRC.
interns with the district level judiciary, basically, because there the work is more critical than the High Court and the Supreme Court, because High Court and Supreme Court, it is to decide upon the law, but for that law the law which has already been laid down needs to be executed in the trial courts. So the responsibility of the trial court is much more effective when it comes to actual criminal trials, or for that reason, civil commercial dispute trials also, sir. So can we not bring or build a mechanism for the younger people who want to be in judicial system to work with these people with two motives: one, to assist the people who are already overburdened with the work because the judicial appointment takes a lot of time also, and the other with the purpose of learning if and will they be able to come and sustain also would be the third point, because few people enter the judiciary and then they have to leave because it is highly difficult to sustain that much of pressure also. So will this not help the people who are willing?
That is again a very, very good suggestion. Yes, definitely. I think bar councils have to play this role of mentoring in various fields, not just this, but these judgments actually, you see, why somebody needs to go to court. Because the system or the position one is inside. That system or position where he finds himself, trouble, was not functioning properly. Now, in a litigation where one does not get justice or what he feels is justice against a statutory body, what is the first complaint? That the statutory body or the government officials or whoever, or the opponent, the other side, is not functioning as per law. So if respective bodies like bar councils try to do the work, and the scope of the work of the bar council, of any bar council, is tremendous, huge, and the responsibility is also humongous, I would say. So one will not require the interventions of the court if we perform our duties, responsibility, and with a reasonable amount of foresight that all these things have to be dealt at the end of bar councils. That yes, there should be some kind of academy, some kind of branch of bar council who will totally dedicate itself to making a conducive environment, hand-holding and training lawyers, youngsters especially, who wants to become a judge. So a different kind of training and different kind of direction has to be given and supplied to him in a very conducive environment. If we want to improve our justice delivery system, which is, I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think most of people will not disagree with me, justice is the most important thing. Even, I would say, more than food, more than your health. A person will be more disturbed if one doesn't get justice. Even if he's ill or sick, he doesn't get a medical help. He will not be so perturbed or dissatisfied with the system if his heart burns with the feeling that he got wronged, if he is facing injustice. So therefore, this system has to be one of the best systems functioning in a totally utopian manner. That should be our endeavor, and definitely the maximum role which one body will have is bar councils. Yes. So I think a lot needs to be done. But for that, now I come to what my request to you all and youngsters would be, that you choose your candidates very, very carefully. 3 things I will advise, and I'm not asking that you vote for me. I'm being very candid. And this is how your approach should be. There should be 3-4 aspects which you should look and ask tough questions from a candidate who wishes to represent you people in such an important body like bar council. First, how is he as a lawyer? How many judgments are there which he helped or assisted the court in arriving at? In what kind of fields? What are his credentials? And don't just trust the words of people. I would request all of you, all the youngsters who probably would see this kind of interaction which we are having, which you have very kindly organized. What kind of a lawyer is he? Second thing, is he having that kind of a spine or a bravery or whatever it can be called to ensure to take up or to take a stand even if the odds are against the people whom he wants to represent? In this case, does this candidate have the backbone to take up the cause and stand with the cause of the lawyers who actually, lawyers right now require a lot of support and a lot of work to ensure their safety, dignity, and level playing field in their respective practices of law. These three things are absolutely necessary. Question and grill every one of us candidates. That would be my request. Don't blindly vote for me because you know me. I am somebody's brother, senior. If I come from your area, region, no kind of any other reasoning should be utilized to vote for anyone in elections as crucial as this. I mean, every election is crucial, but these kind of elections are extremely crucial. So ask these three questions and do not just believe the word of the candidate. Everybody might promise sun, moon, and Mars, but check the background. Has he ever done something like that, what he's promising, or has he not, or has she not? That would be my request to every youngster and every other voter, that you make a conscious choice, make this difficult choice, because this is very, very crucial choice which you are going to make in these coming elections of our council.
That is the whole purpose of this conversation. When I approached you, I approached you with this intention of saying the fact that, sir, everyone comes with a manifesto and tells us कि हम ये करेंगे, हम वो करेंगे, हम ऐसे करेंगे, हम ये करेंगे. But this time I thought I should take this responsibility of being as a first generation lawyer or as a voter, that I should put forward my list of demands, which I have very smartly put before you also, that these are the list of demands that I have.
That's your right. That's your duty and right.
If you are able to fulfill any of these demands, I don't want that you fulfill all of them, but at least one, two certain things that have to be brought into the mind of the candidate. That when you're elected as a member of the Bar Council of Delhi, it is not only just to hold that position, but also to work. That is the entire purpose.
I would request and beseech you rather not to be so generous with the people you want to elect as members of Bar Council. You have to be very tough and a hard taskmaster.
Sir, we are going to stand.
Don't just don't say that you just fulfill one. You have to get everything extracted out of us.
So that one is for the start.
Yes,
that is, sir. We as a youngsters, we have seen a lot of. If the person who's going to get elected is smart, then we as a voter have to be double smart.
Smarter, yes.
Then we move one by one. That sir, पहले हमारी advocates कर दीजिए, फिर हमारे लिए washrooms, females के लिए washrooms कर दीजिए. Step by step, we'll ask you
so that
to get implemented.
Needs to be done. I would, on a serious note, all these things should not be even asked for. These basic conducive environment should not be even election manifesto. Rather, people who are inside Bar Council, they should somehow come and say kind of sorry that we were not able to do certain things, that you had to approach us for getting your medical aid and conducive environment for women. I mean, this should not be the issue. I think this is a given.
Yes, sir.
If somebody does not do it, it's something very, very bad. That if you don't have these kind of facilities for which there are funds, already there are funds, then I think that's something which somebody needs to answer who has failed to deliver that.
Because, sir, if we see from the very beginning of the independence or the first constituent assembly, or since then till now, the maximum number of people who are in the parliament are lawyers. And why do I say or bring this point over here is because we are considered to be most intellectual people who know the problems, and we can sit there and raise the issues of the people.
Yeah.
So when we talk about this election or the 23 members who are going to get elected, why not as a voter, when you come and ask me for the vote, I put my demands to you saying, sir, if you are putting these in the agenda list or in your manifesto, I would be the one who will vote for you.
Yes.
And I'll not only vote for you, I'll come and question you.
Yes.
Every 6 months, I'll ask you, sir, what is the update on these things?
Every month or every week, I would suggest.
Practically, I would think that I should give some time, but not much more time. So basically, why is there no debates when it comes to bar. Everyone is just visiting office by office to seek votes. But why is there no platform of having debates when it comes to, because we as an individual, you don't know. Most of the people or the voters who are practicing in Delhi, most of them are from some other corners. Like the entire country, people are here. So we don't know most of the people. So if there is some concept of this where people come forward and give their concept, like if you see Supreme Court Bar Association election, the president gives speech and expresses his opinion on what he will do. So if some mechanism like that can
a good beginning has been made. This time at least the manifesto is being officially asked for while you fill up your nomination forms. But I think that's a very good idea, and I am open for it even now. If the election committee here or the returning officer wishes, they can hold a kind of open house.
Yes, sir.
Give every candidate 5 minutes and it can be live streamed. I mean, that would be very good.
Because we need to know you before we vote for you.
You can gauge that if somebody is sitting here answering your questions, then he has got at least people who are wanting to vote, they can judge. They have some vague idea, they can at least have some idea that yes, this person is capable of doing what. And then you research yourself also. I would not, as I said in the beginning, also don't believe just the words. Just you have to, in any election, you have to check the background.
The faith is the beginning.
Yes.
And the work is the end. So we start with the faith. And I will also request all the...
I have faith after doing some research.
Yes, sir.
Even the faith.
But that is the basic. So obviously the first request that goes to everyone who's a voter, because the elections are going constantly in every bar council. It's not only Delhi, but if this, because if this video goes on and it's circulated, it will go to every member of the country. So if they are going to do this in their bar councils also,
that would be wonderful.
That would also be an impactful, because let's come forward and ask people who are going to come and represent us in future. What are they actually going to do is the first and the biggest question. It should not be that this is what we'll achieve, this is what we're going to get. But the first question is that what actually can be done. And that is the purpose of this conversation, sir.
Thank you so much.
And I would want that that is my request to you, that you keep on holding such lectures when after some time needs to be given to the youngsters as you've given.
Anyone, anytime, whoever wants to have this, I would not call it as a lecture. I am ready for the grilling. Anybody who wants to hold this kind of meeting is more than welcome. I will definitely take time out during my campaign also to answer any question which any body of lawyers or any office or any individual lawyer also wants to. I mean, this is a very welcome step for me. I'm very glad that you organized this. I congratulate you also and your entire office. Any of your answers can ask any questions.
Many answers. These people are...
If they want to ask any questions, they're more than welcome. And rather, they should ask questions from every candidate, including me. Don't vote for me. Vote for the best candidate. That's my request to every lawyer. Vote for someone. This is a preferential election.
Yes, sir.
So give your first preference to the most deserving, according to your own estimation. Then the second preference, then the third preference. Do not vote for any other consideration. Your friendship, your area-wise affiliation, your reference from a very close friend or relative. Please forget all that. Just pure merit if you want to really progress in this profession, especially the youngsters. Thank you very much. Any questions from anyone?
Sir, what is your advice for the young lawyers who are going to step into the field? How should we pursue our career? You yourself are a young generation lawyer. Yes. So what is your advice on that?
First, be fearless. If you can't be fearless, don't enter this field. You are a spokesperson of someone who's not able to raise one's own voice. So you have to understand this. First and foremost quality of a lawyer, especially a litigant, every other lawyer also, especially a lawyer who wants to enter the field of litigation, is he has to be fearless. Fearless not just of threats, but also of the grillings which the court and the opposite side puts you in. And my advice to youngsters would be, never hesitate. never hesitate. Prepare well, but never hesitate in the court. Be very respectful to the honorable courts. You always remember that usually judges are referred to as honorable. It is we who are always called learned. So therefore, never hesitate, prepare well, never hesitate in court. Start from the trial work. Trial work is the base. I can give you examples after examples where people who have risen from the district court upwards, they are performing in Supreme Court and High Court far better than people who directly went to the High Court or Supreme Court, because they don't have that kind of first-hand feel of the basis, the foundation of all litigation. So that would be my first advice to all litigants, all people who want to enter the field of litigation. That's very, very crucial. And another aspect is that you always try to go into the legislation. Read judgments later on. Judgments can change. Judgments can be improved upon or changed. But basis is your legislation, the acts which you read. So try and understand them in depth. What is the intent of every section? These are the two advices which I would like to give every youngster.
Thank you.
Sir, how do we motivate ourselves? Because it is very time consuming and field that you have to give 3 to 5 years. So then only you can be independent. What?
In which other field you need to give less?
So like people choose corporate rather than litigation go.
How many corporate lawyers do you know? How many
Sir,
litigation lawyers do you know?
I have my friends that they get 12 lakhs packages, 11 lakhs packages. We get demotivated. Yeah.
Why my answer to you is, how many corporate lawyers do you know?
I know many of them.
Now, tell me the number. Big names.
10 to 15.
No, big names in that sense. And how many litigation lawyers you know? Big names.
So you would be.
No. I mean, first is you get that recognition if you are a litigation lawyer. Second thing is, you will be surprised to know the amount of returns you can have these days being an actual good trial lawyer. You will be really surprised.
Then the
Because-
entire package comes in one day.
Yeah, it can come.
And even more,
In one case
It's not
also.
all about
But you
package.
have to be.
It's not all about package, but
Hard work.
success. Yes, sir.
You think corporate lawyers don't work hard?
So they do.
So they work hard. Here, it all depends on your inclination also. If you like, not video games, if you like real action, football in the field, then you have to be a litigation lawyer. If you like video games, that is how I can, because I might be having some bias,
Yeah.
because I am myself into active litigation practice. But having said that, I think that's the basic difference. Which you want?
so the two differences that I have seen in the corporate and litigation is, one is very simple, that they have a fixed 10 to 6 job. The timings, as soon as it is 6 o'clock, you close your laptop and you can leave. But as a litigating lawyer, at 6 in the morning also you have to be awake for your client. Is one thing that is there. Obviously, that comes from the interest also. If you don't want to be that much active, you can be less active also. But a good litigating lawyer gives this much time, or there is no time limit for the same. And the second aspect that I see is that whatever money that they start with, the growth in their field is gradual. But once you are experienced in this field as a litigation person, then obviously that amount of money that is there cannot be even considered, because if you are a good lawyer, then that becomes an irrelevant issue, because you make sufficient to make yourself.
So we think,
If you-
how will we get the clients? How will we able to
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'll come to that. But if you see, what corporate lawyers are doing is to feed us only, ultimately. What they are protecting is litigation, from future litigations. So we are the game. Everybody else is preparing for us.
Preparing field for
All the corporate lawyers come, and all the corporate lawyers are supposed to brief the litigating lawyers.
Why? Because they are preparing our ground. We are the actual players who will actually, in case of a difficulty, in case of a dispute, will face the other army. That's one motivation. If you can feel that motivation, the biggest motivation is when you see the face of a weak client of yours who wins a case against a very powerful opponent. That feeling is beyond billions of dollars. I can assure you that. But you have to have that feeling. You will not get that feeling that I got this person who was in, for whatever reason, in a weaker position, justice against a very powerful person. That feeling is priceless. That could also be motivation. Your name, actually, every other lawyer will ultimately come and take refuge from a litigation lawyer. These are things, but both the fields these days, earlier, then you see, if you are not active, if you want to ask me, if you are not challenged, your mind is not challenged, if you are not facing this adversarial system, if you are not preparing for a very important lawyer who's going to assault you in the court, with his words, of course, then that youngness in your mind, that youth and your thinking power does not grow in that sense. You become kind of lazy, lethargic. So choice is yours. What do you want? And both the fields are with you. You can progress in that field also. But here you can progress in litigation. I might be biased because I am more into litigation. You can progress in leaps and bounds. Make a name for yourself, get that satisfaction of getting something for a person who really was in dire straits. These are the pros and cons. Now it's up to the youngsters which side they want to go.
So what type of hard work should we need to?
Every kind of hard work you can imagine under the sun. Sky is the limit. And so is your success road. It's up to you. See, experience, years you put in practice don't matter. It's the way you handle things, the way you start understanding things, and the more innovation out of box thinking you can put in, a better trial lawyer you would be. And ultimately, if you are a good trial lawyer, you would be a better lawyer at High Court and Supreme Court level. Every tribunal, everything will become very easy for you if you work hard for 2-3 years on the thing. Then you don't need to really put in so much hard work.
No, I have actually felt this because I went for a case. The opposite side had an experience of 25 years of practice, and the first way to suppress or put me in a pressure was the statement that was made that the years that what is your age, and the age of yours is the years of practice that I hold. But what I did was I was well read, so somehow when I was able to convince the judge on my side because of the work that I have done or the research I have done, it made me feel so good that in this profession, even if you are not that experienced, but you try to present your case in a very perfect manner, then also some things can be in your favor.
It will be difficult, but
yes, sir.
If you cross some difficulty, your joy and your satisfaction is also greater. So you have to understand this. That's the thing which you can only get in litigation. Again, this example is there.
So learning doesn't stop.
Learning doesn't stop. And you are always, somebody or the other will be breathing down your neck also. Somebody better than you will come. He will come, and so that kind of being on toes increases your mental, physical and financial health, I would say.
So generally clients come by recommendation only, I think. And
no, you make a name for yourself. Therefore, I am saying, no, you would, if you are a expert in your field. See, every profession you see will be having its own difficulties. If you get good judgments, even if it is in a trial court, the world travels. People need good lawyers, and nowadays there is a dearth of trial lawyers. I must say this. So therefore, do not underestimate trial work. and things travel. It's not. And then, as I said, Bar Council, we will try to give you level playing field. We will encourage youngsters. We will, if we find some youngsters are good, we will definitely give them rewards based on their merits, not based on any other
So
consideration.
why not we can basically prepare a list of lawyers and prepare the profile and
That is what Sarah said. He will work on this agenda of preparing a streamlined.
We will handhold first.
Yes.
We will give you whatever
Opportunity.
help you need to develop your own personality and your own persona. Then we will also encourage you that these lawyers have performed this. We will just not recommend anyone, but we will say that these are the judgments, these are the trial works, this youngster has done. So we will definitely work on something like this so that you don't have to use your influence or your connections to get work. Your work should speak and attract your flight
Nice.
page.
Sir, why did you choose to contest for bar council election and not for any bar association?
Well, because I feel that I can be more productive. Bar associations will only perform a secondary role. Someone who can really take pressure needs to go to bar council. And that was on a lighter side once again. But because I have always, as I said, before you asked me this question, I gave you a suggestion that you don't read judgments first. You read the legislation. So I started as a trial lawyer. I had an opportunity. I was the president of Campus Law Center, Delhi University. That time it was the premier institute of law in the entire Asian continent. Yet I chose to start from a trial lawyer. So I like to work with the basics. So Bar Council is the basic. Every other Bar Council is the foundation of the legal practice. Advocates Act, it is a statutory body. Every other floor which you want to build on this building of legal profession and otherwise will depend on the Bar Council. Therefore, I never want to contest any bar session elections. I only want to contest Bar Council elections.
Very valid point also, that you actually want to work and not just act as a leader.
Yes, as a servant. Never let your people who want to contest election forget this. That's the biggest flaw in our electorate, in our country. That we started treating people who ourselves we elect as some angels or something above us. They are your servants. We promise to serve you. This feeling should never be allowed to be separated from the people we elect.
We have seen this trend very recently also, not only in India but across the world, that the younger generation has started questioning.
Yes,
So
that's
this
very
time it is not going to be this easy for you and everyone, because
Yes, thank you very much for that.
the questioning has to start, and it starts from the people whom we are electing. Like you said, that if we do not question them, then what does our role? We should not only be sitting and criticizing
Yes.
that we have elected such a person. So why not? We can put that person in a position to work, and that has happened. We have seen this happening in the political system also, and the current example is the current ongoing government. The manner in which the opposition is able to put pressure.
The more
clearly shows-
you ask questions, the more accountable you are.
Yes, the more you are able to question. Now, in the current scenario, we are able to see that the opposition is questioning every act,
That's
be it
the-
right or wrong.
That's their duty.
If be it right or wrong, at least the government is coming forward and presenting their way. So why not the people who are going to get elected are getting this? So this time it is not going to be easy job, but it is going to be more difficult because the questions are going to be very.
You will get better people in Bar Council if you pursue this time.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time, because in this busy schedule of campaigning, then court practices and everything, it is important. But obviously, me as a youngster has this responsibility to bring before the
Yes.
younger minds
Yes.
the vision that a person carries. Or not only, I will not only stop at you, but I would also request other members
Yes.
that they come forward and have such
Yes.
discussions, that their
Absolutely.
vision is brought before the people who are going to choose them.
Thank you
So
very much.
thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
Wonderful effort and wonderful initiative.